Om Ajnanatimandasya Sunam Takshunritamena Tasmi Srigurven Chitchetayamanovistam Taptam Yena Vedutale Svayamrupagada Dadanti Sunam Padantikam Vandeham Shivo Shiyudapatkamam Shivom Vaishnavam Shilpam Jagajatam Sakanaragnatam Kitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabuddhitam Pajana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakanalita Shivshakam Vitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Bandhu Chatpate Gopesha Gopya Kanta Kanta Namastate Tapta Kansana Kaunagya Devi Davanasya Vishabhamasya Devi Pranamama Priya Pankha Kautabasya Kripa Sindhavasya Patram Savanabhyo Vaishnavya Jaya Shri Krishna Jaya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Nam Vishnu Hare Krishna Vishnu Krishna Hare Bhakti Swami Nam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharani Nirvishesha Srinyavati Paskachari Prasatani Laprabhupada. So today we will start with mantra 9. Mantra 9 is the first of 3 verses. A new section that 3 kinds of so-called knowledge are discussed here. And what is vidya, what is avidya? Text 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Andam tama pavishanti. Ye vidyam upasate. Tato bhuya ivam te tamo. Yao vidyayam vattaha. Translation. Andam gross ignorance. Dhammaha, darkness. Pravishanti, enter into. Ye, those who. Avidyam, innocence. Upasate, worship. Tattaha, done that. Boya, still more. Eva, like. Te, day. Tamaha, darkness. Ye, those who. You, also. Vidyayam, in the culture of knowledge. Prataha, engaged. Translation. Those who engage in the culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse are still those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. Please repeat. Those who engage in the culture of nascent activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge.
Worse are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge.
So this mantra says, one will cultivate this knowledge as one destination. One will cultivate another kind of knowledge as a different destination. This reminds me to Bhagavad Gita. Krishna does that also. That 439 Bhagavad Gita. Shadava labate jnanam tat para samyatendriya jnanam labdva param samtim ashranad gacchati. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. Thus a faithful man. Next verse. Ahyasya shadadanasya samsayatma vinasati nam lokosti na paro nasakam samsayatmanam. But the ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down, for the doubting of soul is happiness neither in this world nor in the next. So the faithful and the ignorant or the faithless, different destination, Krishna says. Krishna does that also at the end of the Gita. Yeah. 1859. Matchita sarvaduryanin matprasada trishasi atasit from ankaran nasosas pinapsati. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act to false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. A different result. So Krishna, there are a few more verses like that in Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says, if you do this, you get that result. If you do that, you get another result. But here, the Isopanisad is puzzling, because here it says if you, for vidya, you get that result, and for avidya, you get another result. But in verse 9, 10, and 11, this words vidya and avidya is used. But the words vidya and avidya have different meanings in every verse. And that makes it difficult to understand. That. So first, let's look where we are. Where we are. So this, we are in a new section here, 9 to 11. This right and wrong vidya. Vidya and avidya. That the first is about knowledge for understanding Ishvara, understanding Krishna. And then in 12 to 14, we will speak there. We will hear about right and wrong upasana, right and wrong forms of worship with their different destinations. And then the last section, which we will discuss tomorrow evening, prayers of Ishvara to reveal himself. Good. So here, 6, 9, 10, 11. If you memorize this, what's on the screen here, you know the essence of verse 9, 10, and 11. The rest you will remember more or less. So that's very important. That in verse 9, that avidya or ignorance means knowledge for getting sense gratification. Most people in this world are very expert in it. Plan making for sense gratification. Yeah. But it's called an ignorant pursuit for sense gratification. Ignorant pursuit. And vidya is knowledge for pursuing sense gratification. It's doing it with knowledge. We will see what it means. In text 10, knowledge for pursuit of sense gratification. It looks the same, but here the vidya here becomes avidya here. That's interesting. That and then knowledge for pursuit of Krishna consciousness, that's real vidya. Then the third verse, knowledge for bodily maintenance and knowledge for attaining Krishna consciousness. And one needs both to attain liberation. That we believe. Anyway, that's a summary. That if you have understood it, I don't have to say anything anymore. But mostly it's quite puzzling. I will try to clarify it. So, why is vidya? So, in this first mantra, come to that. Why is vidya worse than avidya? That is explained in the first paragraph. So people have controlled machines, but due to stress, they have uncontrolled minds. So this knowledge for attaining sense gratification, we have become very expert in it. Machines for everything. Machines. And the first time I was it's 20 years ago, I was using already an electric toothbrush. And I was in the brahmacharya ashram in the bathroom with other brahmacharis. And I was brushing my teeth with the electric toothbrush. And the other brahmacharis had never seen that. And they were lying on the ground laughing. Anyway, we are using machines for so many things. And we have big cars and so many things. But that's all and very controlled material energy. But our minds are uncontrolled. And that's a problem. That's what is. And this is, Avidyam upashyate. This is the second and until the fourth paragraph of Prabhupada's purpose. Avidyam upashyate is caused by forgetfulness of the Isavasya principle. You remember Isavasya principle? That we ask questions at the end. We change the system because we have to go. At the end, we have 20 minutes for questions. That time. So the principle that the Lord is the owner and enjoyer of everything, we forget that. The profitless pursuit of sense gratification is the worship of avidya. The profitless pursuit of, sense gratification don't give us profits. Profitless pursuit of sense gratification is the worship of avidya. We are worshipping ignorance by that. As a result of this ignorance, the immediate result of rejecting God is enjoyment. Bhagavad Gita 16:8. That's the proof, the praman. Bhagavad Gita 16:8. Those who say that there is no God in control, they immediately come to the conclusion that the world is meant for satisfied calm, sense gratification. There is no God in control. So the world is meant for our enjoyment. You live only once. Enjoy. You heard that before. People say that also in Germany. It's a degeneration of thought. You reject God and sense gratification comes on the foreground immediately. Sense gratification becomes a religious activity for people. People make sense gratification a secular God. Worship of paraphernalia used by pop stars. Fanatical, irrational pursuit of sense gratification. That's the first point. Paragraph 2.4 or 2.3, it's 2.3. Avidyam upasate, Srila Prabhupada discusses. But now, in the next paragraphs, and he spent a lot of paragraphs until paragraph 9, he speaks about Vidyayam Rata, the godless modern education, irreligious materialists. Modern education, by the 4th paragraph. To be in ignorance is bad. To be in ignorance and claim to be in knowledge is worse. Like the non-theistic scientists today. They think they have some knowledge, but they cannot explain anything. That this is when I was in the secondary school. We are studying chemics, and you have chemical formulas. And I asked the teacher, yes, if you combine that and that element, you have that result. But why is that? He said, oh, that is beyond the realm of what I have to present here. that I cannot say. That's who has made these laws, this formula? No answer. Ignorance. They only have their observation, their experiment, and that's it. But why is it happening? No answer. So to be in ignorance and claim to be in knowledge, and to condemn real knowledge as ignorance is worse. He says, atheist scientists, so in Bhagavad Gita, is a Maya Parita Jnana. And now here, godless education. Decoration of a dead body. Yeah. It's as dangerous as a serpent with a diamond on that they are the most poisonous. And all this sense gratification is decoration of a dead body. That is what it is. That thing, we come to that. The Vedavatarata. That's the next point. We can say the karma kandis or the religious materialists. Those who are following karma kanda in the Vedas, karma kanda is a process is a process by which you can go to heaven and get a heavenly body and get much more opportunities for enjoyment that yeah. But factually, it is a side issue in the Vedas. They miss the ultimate purpose of the Vedas, which is Vedasa Sarvayameva Vedya, Krishna said. The ultimate purpose is to know Krishna and self-realization. But they misinterpret the Vedas, and they misguide people to go to darker and darker areas. Yeah. They believe in God and religion, but they think not the purpose of religion is sense gratification. But their enjoyment is temporary. We have an example of that, of this karma kandis in Krishna book. And this, the Brahmins and the wives of the Brahmins. The Brahmins were doing sacrifices, and technically that must all be perfect or you don't have the right result. And that is how these sacrifices to go to heaven. And then the coward boys on behalf of Krishna and Balaram came and asked them that, please, Krishna and Balaram are hungry, we beg for some food. And this Brahman said, go away, don't disturb us, this is serious. Well, they didn't say anything, they just dismissed them. And the coward boys went back to Krishna and said, yeah, he told them what happened. And Krishna says, yes, sometimes when you beg, sometimes you are refused. What can you do? But ask the wives of the Brahmin. Then they went to the wives of the Brahmin. And they were very eager to see Krishna because they heard about Krishna from the Pulindas. The Pulindas, they are forest dwellers. And these women, they are collecting fruits and all things from the forest, and they are selling that. So they had practically daily contact with these wives of these Brahmins, and they saw, of course, they saw every day practically Krishna and Balaram herding the cows. So they were telling about Krishna. So they became attracted by Krishna. And immediately they started cooking. And they were cooking and different preparations and brought them quick to Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna said, oh, that's very nice you came. I'm very impressed by your love for me. But now go back to your husbands. And you assist your husbands. Because it's not by my physical, Krishna said that, he said that as such, it's not by my physical presence that you attain perfection. You go home, you do your sadhana, you think of me. And thinking of me, of being with me is the same. I mean, he said that also to the gopis. It went a little different there. But then the wives of the Brahma said, how can we go back? We came without permission of our husbands. They will not accept us anymore. But Krishna, don't worry. I will make sure they will accept you. So they went back to their husband. And the husband found something has changed. They have really no interest anymore. They don't have interest in us anymore. no interest. They are completely detached, and they understood. We are fools. We are doing these rituals to go to heaven, and there are our wives are much more advanced than us, so we accept them as our guru. That's a nice story. That the gopis had that also. The gopis, their mothers, went to Madhumangala and said, "We have a problem here." Madhumangala is the Brahman, the son of the Brahman, and he knows all these rituals and these samskaras you can perform. And they asked him for advice. We have a problem. These gopis, they have really no interest in their husbands. So nothing we can do. And Madhumangala knew the desire of Krishna, of course, and said, sure. But of course, first they discussed the Dakshi. He wanted some sweets. So it's not for free. He said, no problem. You make arrangement that your daughters are performing in the forest. In the forest, a sacrifice, a worship of Surya, the sun god. And you should send them out into the forest to collect herbs and flowers for that worship, and then do the worship there. That, of course, all these gopis, they were held inside the house because they were not allowed to go out. So they all feel great sorrow and they can't see Krishna. So then the Madhumangala say, you just do that, it will be all right. That, let's let them do that sacrifice. So then the gopis were allowed to go out. And Radharani, the gopis, went all to collect paraphernalia for the worship of the sun god, and hoping to see Krishna in the forest. But then, this Shatila came with them to observe the worship of the sun god, and they had all the paraphernalia ready, and all the gopis were there to do the worship. But they needed a Brahman to do the puja. And suddenly a Brahman came there with some undercover boy. Of course, this Brahman was Krishna. He was dressed a little different. He was dressed as a pujari. I needed to worship. Anyway, there is a whole conversation. It's very funny that these persons of Krishna are very joyful. But you see that, yes, these ritualistic Brahmins understood their mistake, and their wives became their guru. So that was discussed. Okay, this is the Karma Kandis. We will hear more about Karma Kanda also in Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna will say, because in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, yes, I don't want to fight, because, and he gives 6 reasons. We will discuss them next week. But one of the reasons is, if I win the battle, I will not be able to enjoy it, the kingdom, because I want to enjoy it with my relatives. They are not. I'm going to kill them. That's one reason. And he said yes. And when I don't win the battle, I'm going to hell, because I'm killing my relatives according to the Mana Samhita. One who kills his relatives go to hell. And Krishna, so Arjuna said it's a loss case. And Krishna reverses it. He made it into win-win. He said, no, if you win the battle, then you will enjoy a glorious kingdom. And when you lose the battle, you will go to heaven to enjoy. That going to heaven is karma kanda. So if a Kshatriya does his duty and he desires to enjoy a kingdom, then he goes to heaven. But that is dependent on the inner attitude also. Because Krishna will say, then yes, you will go to heaven. But then 2 verses later he says, this is all karma kanda, Arjuna. That it's in the modes of nature. It are material destinations. Nistrai gunya, go beyond these 3 modes and become transcendental, Arjuna. So he rejected. That's very clear. But it's a side issue in the Vedas. So these are the Maya Paritagyan that you will discuss in 2 weeks from now in the Bhagavad Gita. That Namam Duskitnamuda Pabatyanti Naradama Maya Paritagyan Ashvambhavam Ashritam. So Maya Paritagyan is the 3rd one. You have the Muda, the Naradam, the Maya Paritagyan, and the professional Asura. So these are the 4. And the Maya Paritagyan is the one whose knowledge has been stolen by illusion. That Maya has stolen their knowledge, like the Mayavadis, those who claim to be God, monists. So we become one with God and then we are God. That's the greatest material desire. It's not possible because the soul can never merge with something. It cannot be cut to pieces. It can be situated in Brahman, but it retains its individuality. It cannot merge. That you remain eternally an individual is the first teaching, practically, from Krishna to Arjuna. After Krishna calls him a fool. Yes. Natvevam satuna samnatam neme chanatima nashevna bhavishma savavayamataparam. That you, Arjuna, all these kings and I have existed before, and we will never cease to exist. We are existing now, we have always existed, we'll never stop to exist in the future. So we retain our individuality eternally. That then you have the first, and then is first in Maya Paritagyan, then in the Brahmavadis. The Brahmavadis, they don't know about Bhagavan. I think, that's the last one. What is a Brahmavadi? they have the idea Brahman is the absolute truth. Brahmavadis, they don't know about Krishna, and they don't offend Krishna. They don't know about the Lord, but their advancement is very difficult, Krishna says, is Brahmavadis. That's mentioned in chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita. 12, verse 4 and 5. 5. So, but those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the sense, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. So these are Brahmavadis. So in the next verse, Krishna says, their advancement is very troublesome. That because and Srila Prabhupada explains why that is in the purpose in the purpose that they have. Yeah, it's very difficult to meditate on the unmanifested, that what is, make your mind void, but it doesn't work. That, so you have the story of Brahmuni. Brahmuni had to find out who is supreme, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Lord Vishnu. So they didn't know. The sages came together. Who is supreme? And they decided we have to do an experiment. Who wants to do the experiment? And they chose Brahmuni. Unfortunately, Brahmuni had to do it. At first, Brahmuni is the son of Brahma. First he went to Brahma and he went into the meet. He went to see his father, but they did not offer him obeisances. And immediately Brahma became angry. So yeah, he was thinking, he cannot be supreme. He becomes angry. Then he went to see Lord Shiva, his brother. and Lord Shiva saw him. He was very happy to see his brother. He wanted to embrace him, but Brahmuni said, no, you are living on a crematorium. You don't touch me. And immediately Lord Shiva became angry and wanted to kill him, but Mother Parvati begged him not to do. And then he went to see Lord Vishnu. He went when Lakshmi was there. Immediately, when Brahmuni came in, he put his feet on the hardly on the breast of Krishna, of Vishnu. And Vishnu smiled and I hope you didn't hurt your feet. I'm so very sorry for you. So he understood Vishnu is supreme. Then that, but Mother Lakshmi was not happy that with the behavior of Brahmuni, and therefore all the Brahmins are poor. It is anyway, but that is what the Brahmavadis. Brahman is supreme, and they don't know who is the supreme. But they are not Mayavadis. They don't say, the Mayavadis, they say that Krishna's body is material. It's a manifestation of Brahman. It's a temporary manifestation that it has a material body. And the highest is Brahman. That they imagine Bhagavan is a temporary present manifestation of Brahman. And Krishna condemns that in the Gita, in the 9th chapter. Avashananti mamuda manushim tanamashritam brahmabhavam ajanato mama bhutavashvam. 9:11. Fools write me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. So but then, what is the result of this offenders, the Mayavadi? Krishna says in the next verse, Mosa Mokarmani Mokana Pisheshata Rekshima Shem Shiva Pukutim Moinim Shvataha. Those who are thus bewildered and affected by demonic and atheistic views, in that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation and fruitive activity and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Whatever they want to achieve is defeated. They will not get that because they are offenders of Krishna. And that's it, it's a complete misunderstanding of the Vedas. That, So yes, then you have the misconception of the materialist and monism. Materialists, they make we can say a counterfeit note, a false note. They make it real. So they think that temporary material activities are the essence of life. The monism, they make that's the opposite. They make the real note to be the counterfeit, the false one. Eternal spiritual activities are illusory. Eternal spiritual activities are illusion. This is even worse. They say eternal activities, spiritual world does not exist. It's all illusory. They say that one has to go beyond the Lord's pastimes. The Lord's pastimes is Maya, illusion. And ultimately, God is no form. But what's the main fallacy here? Srila Prabhupada says many times, but they can, if Brahman is, if everyone is Brahman spiritual, then, and everyone is God, then the question is, why can God come under illusion? They cannot answer. That's a big thing. Okay, we have 15 minutes for questions. Yeah. Yeah. I read it, but I'm reading so many books. I don't remember, but it could be Vrindavan Shampoo or Gopal Shampoo or the books of the 6 Goswami. But it's there. Interesting detail. But, anything else? Yeah.
You said that to understand the Isopanisad, we have at first to understand Bhagavad Gita. Then the Bhagavad Gita courses are following after this course. There are special chapters which are more important to understand the Isopanisad because we have courses parallel, as if I'm asking.
Yeah. What I mean to say is you can understand something in this course, no problem. But to understand more deeply, you must know Bhagavad Gita. Like I'm referring constantly to Bhagavad Gita that, to help you to make that connection. But I make that connection, but these verses are because after you study the Bhagavad Gita, then it's fresh. You see how that verse, and that's the context and so on. And you understand it's more deeply. Yeah, what it means. You know the topics in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, usually I give it after the Bhagavad Gita. But anyway, that's after Bhagavad Gita, you can read it again and you will get more enlightened. But yes.
Wondering something yesterday. What is that about Sastri is taken after initiation and not before initiation?
Bhakti Sastri is for those who are Brahminical inclined, not for everyone. Bhakti Sastri is quite a high level. It's a preparation to become a Brahmin. Not everyone is Brahminically inclined. Some levels are really not into philosophy and not ready for it. But those who are intellectually inclined, yes, they will benefit by. It's a preparation to become a Brahmin, qualified Brahmin. That you need this knowledge and to act according to this knowledge and to develop the virtues, the qualifications that is. Otherwise, all devotees would follow Bhakti Sastri. But I agree that going Bhakti Sastri before initiation will help you to understand what you are busy with more deeply. For me, it took 5 to 6 years to understand really the depth of pure devotional service, what it is. With understanding, I mean also the willingness to bring it in practice. That finally I understood. This is about developing love and living in a relationship with Krishna. And that love must be selfish without any other motivation. I have to forget myself and learn to act only for Krishna. And forget myself, forget all these material desires. Only the desire of Krishna. That's pure devotional service. But as long as you are not striving to attain that, you have not understood. You have not understood. And that Bhakti Sastri helps to churn in the heart and come to the right conclusion. But devotional service, Bhakti is independent. That it doesn't mean that you can become a devotee if you don't follow in the Bhakti Sastri course. No, the practice, Krishna will purify you from within the heart. But a Brahmin is different. A Brahmin must have the knowledge and must be able to preach with great intelligence. That's the quality of a Brahmin. So it's a preparation for Brahmin. It's not for everyone. We have to recognize that. Because I've got some students in the past who were not qualified to follow this course. And it was there for them, they were losing their time. But most students who are following today, they are different. So we have to see. Normally, to enroll for the Bhakti Sastri course, you must get recommendations and show that you are Brahminically inclined. That's the point. That's the point. But Bhakti is independent. It's independent. Knowledge and attachment comes from the practice of Bhakti, real. But this knowledge as an important supporting function, because it helps you to mold your life in such a way that you come to this point of rendering pure devotional service. Because there are two levels. When a devotee asks Srila Prabhupada, or a man asks Srila Prabhupada, I don't know the circumstances, but how many pure devotees are there today in ISKCON? And Prabhupada turned to his secretary and asked, how many devotees do we have in ISKCON? We consider them pure devotees, but we have two kinds of pure devotees. You have pure devotees, those who act as pure devotees. They may still be impure in heart, but they act with the pure intention. And they are considered pure devotees, because they will soon become pure devotees. And Prabhupada always quotes this verse from Nectar of Devotion, Iya yasya hare dasye karma namana sakare nikalasya pravasya jivan mukta sauchyate. And one uses one's body, mind, words, and all one's convictions, always in the service of the Lord, then one is called implicitly liberated, and act as a liberated person. That implicitly liberated means he will soon become purified and liberated. And in the beginning of our movement, everyone was like that. Joining our movement was joining the temple. Give all your possessions to the temple and you join, and that was it. And the whole day you went out on distributing magazines, and that was very powerful, that surrender. And they had pure intention, they want to please Prabhupada. And this period in the history of ISKCON is called the period of the Hare Krishna explosion. We grow at an enormous pace all over the world, and millions of books were distributed in that period. That was because everyone's pure intention. And that pure intention you can learn mostly by hearing. If you follow Prabhupada's program in the morning and the evening, and you hear and you do service, you will also come to that place. It was the problem today. The devotees are not living in the temple anymore. They don't have a morning program. That's a problem. That's a big problem. So they can follow the Bhakti Sastri code and then be inspired to create the ability themselves to have their own morning program, or to live around the temple and come to the temple. Anyway, does that help?
Very well.
Yeah. Yes.
Maharaj, when someone is a pure devotee, is it possible that you fall down from that position again, or is it considered that you put them in the pure, like, you know what I mean?
If you come to the platform of prema, you will not fall down. But that's far away.
Yeah.
That
I guess so.
we have to be always careful in this world. And fall down may always be there. That Prabhupada said in a class in Vrindavan that I will not fall down, but you can fall down. You should be very careful. After the class, Prabhupada was praying before the deities, Radha Shyama Sundar Gauranitai, Krishna Balaram. The devotee asked Prabhupada, what are you praying for? I'm praying to the deities to please not let me fall down. That's a good lesson. Good. It's noontime now. We will have a pause of 15 minutes. and then go in text 10. The 12:15, we resume. Thank you.
Mhm.